Hello, team. Welcome back to the AT Fit podcast. I hope we're all doing incredibly well. We're finding our feet again after the lockdown situation, and wherever you are in the world, or hopefully, I hope your family are fit and healthy, and everyone stayed safe. Um, this episode, team, we're going to talk about mentality and motivation. Something just like the last episode, something I've been asked quite a lot over the past like couple of days, to be honest with you, from the athletes I have in person. I've had a lot of questions basically saying, Alex, like, how my how do you stay motivated, or what's the tips and tricks to stay motivated, to keep you going to the gym for consistency wise, and then also um, like mentality to approach a lift. It's actually been really nice, to be honest, team. There's been a lot of people that have been wanting to start looking at, gaining some functionality through their body and gaining some strength through the body, so they're structurally sound, which is actually really cool. Um, so a classic one to go on would be a 5x5, or the other ones you can do. But for a beginner, in my opinion, a 5x5 is always a great place to start. And obviously, if you are going a little bit heavier than you used to, then your mentality to address that bar and to address that lift is going to have to be a little bit different. But we'll start off with motivation, guys. Okay, so motivation. How do you stay motivated? I believe I might have touched on this previously, but we're going to talk about it again, um, because it is so important. Like, you do hear it all the time. Motivation comes for a season, it comes and goes, but inspiration stays with you, and that's true. But sometimes you do need a little bit more motivation to keep you through, and that's when you pull out different tools in your toolbox, and you start going to different places mentally, and you start thinking about other things. So, for example, we'll use an example of someone that just wants to come in and be fit and healthy. Um, what is that motivation there? Well, one, you've got your health, so that should be first and foremost you and your health, right? So that's going to get you through quite a decent amount of sessions. Be like, right, Alex, we're doing this because we're going to be a healthier human, and we're going to live longer, or we want to live longer, and hopefully pick up your grandkids, great grandkids, and so on and so forth. So we've got health and yourself. Then you might already have kids, and that's going to be a motivating factor for you, or it should be a massively motivating factor for you. Setting a good example for that kid or those kids, um, is probably going to be in the forefront of your mind. Speaking to people that have kids and grandkids, and even chatting to me mum, like, it's it's definitely one of those things that you want to set a good example, right? You want to lead from the front, and we say all the time that leadership is not a title, it's an act. And if you want to be a good role model and show some leadership for your children, then doing the thing rather than talking about it is always going to gain more respect. Whether they give you the respect you deserve right now, or whether it's in 20 years' time when they think, holy shit, yeah, that was absolutely incredible. They led from the front, and I really respect that, and I've gained so much from that. So obviously you've got your kids. Like, job can come into it. If you've got a physical job and you manual labour, or fire service, police, hospital, all those things. And then yourself. Yourself should be a big one. So that internal drive of how do you feel? How do you feel in yourself? Do you feel like shit? Are you like, obviously, if you're not where you want to be, I don't want it to be completely negative between your ears all the time. Like, however, I'm going to touch upon that when we get to the mentality for lifts. Sometimes those negative thoughts and that negative energy can actually drive you forward, but then you need to assess what type of person and athlete you are. But we'll get to that later on. Um, so for yourself, are you in a position where you're happy? Are you in a position where you want to be? Do you want to move forward somewhere? Do you want to move across somewhere? Do you want to change some things? Like, it's your body at the end of the day. It's your life. It's your health. How are you feeling about it? And be fucking honest with yourself. Like, don't take your own bullshit. You're like, nah, I'm fucking fine, blah blah blah, but you're ill every 2 weeks. but then no, you're not fine. Or it's like, yeah, I'm absolutely hunky dory, I'm sound, but you're like 50, 100 kilos overweight. You're like, well, you're probably not sound. You're probably not healthy, and you're probably not happy with it. If you genuinely are, then that's absolutely fine. Will you be healthy if you are 100 kilos overweight? No, that's obviously an excessive example, but you get what I'm trying to say. And then, obviously, if you are in a relationship, there is going to be parts where you're going to do it for them. Like we do say, do it for you. It's you versus you, and blah blah blah, which is true. But you're also going to do it for them, right? You also want to, I don't know, you fucking take your clothes off, and then they turn around and go, "Whoa, holy shit, what the fuck?" And you'd be like, "You want that, right?" Like, I mean, it's obvious. Everyone would want that from their partner. Um, so I'm not saying that's going to be 100% of your motivation, and all of these things, so kids, job, yourself, health, partner, all these things aren't going to be 100%. But it might be, for this week, it might be 20%. For the next month, it might be 70%. And then, that might change and goals might change. Like everything comes in peaks and troughs, right? There's areas of periodization. There's going to be times where I'm just going to be looking after your health a little bit more. And then there's going to be times where your job needs to take a little bit more of your priority. And there's going to be times where, you might be going away for a week or 2 weeks with your partner and whatnot. And you want, granted, if you're eating like shit and drinking all the time, at the end of those 2 weeks, you're not going to look your best. But you want at the start of that little holiday to they turn around and go, holy shit, what have you been doing? So maybe the month, 2 months prior to that, you put that motivation at the front of your mind. So it's all about being able to tap in and use different tools in your toolbox. Same analogy as we use all the time, same analogy as I used at the beginning. Just being able to tap into those different things um, when you need to, like when you feel like it's troughing a little bit, it's going down, tap into something else and bring it back up again. Right. I do want to say as a little disclaimer, though, team, that health should be pretty much up there 24/7, 365 and a quarter, because if it drops and it stays dropped for a period of time, then we're not going to be in the best of places. So if you think of, I like the drawing and the diagram. Obviously, this is audio, so you can't see it. But if you picture a semicircle, on the bottom left is sickness, in the middle, so on that little curved part, is wellness, and then in the bottom right is fitness, and that's just a continuum, right? So we can go anywhere in between. So if we're just well, we're in that wellness state, but then we get a little bit ill and we drop down, we're already pretty much in the sickness state. But if we're in fitness, so we're pretty fit and we're pretty healthy, and we drop down, we're into that wellness state. So we've got a little bit of a buffer zone before we get over to sickness. So that's just a little analogy, and I like that diagram. It always, I flash back to that in my head sometimes when things get a little bit out of whack, and they will do, team. Like it's not being too hard on yourself, and it's just being honest with yourself. Like things will get a little bit out of whack sometimes, and it's being able to reassess and take a step back and think, right, this needs a bit more of my energy this time. This needs to behave a little bit. I've been drinking every weekend and getting pretty fucked up. It's taken me till Wednesday, Thursday to actually feel okay again, and come Saturday I'm on the piss. So probably need to rein that in a little bit more. Then it's like, oh, okay, like I'm not really setting a great example for my kids. Maybe I need to rein that in and then focus my energy on there. Me and the partners, like it doesn't feel the same. I want to you know, make it feel a lot better. Okay, I'm going to put my focus a little bit there. It's spinning plates and keeping those plates all spinning, or juggling balls and keeping all the balls in the air. Whatever makes sense in your head. Sometimes you've got to do that, team. But with the health, it's got to be up there. It's got to be pretty much up there 24/7. You don't want to live fast and die at 25. You want to live fast and die at 125, right? Obviously, when your time is your time, but you still want to live a pretty healthy life to get there. Like we say, lifestyle of fitness. So that is motivation. All right, so we've got kids, job, health, yourself, partner, all those things. Might have some more, there probably is some more, whatever it is for you. Just tapping into those little channels and keeps you going, keeps you consistent. All right, so the 80-20 rule or the 70-30 rule, whatever works for your lifestyle, 70% or 80% of the time you are on the ball, 20% of the time, 30% of the time you are enjoying life. Okay, enjoying life, not being too hard on yourself. If you you have a few too many beers, or you smash like two 15-inch pizzas, as I've been known to do in the past. Um, but again, everything comes in balance. Okay, so that's motivation, team. Now we talk about mentality. Mentality is slightly different. So it's about that place you go to in your own head, those conversations you have with yourself when you're in the gym, when you're in a workout, when you're going for a run, when you're doing whatever on the saddle, in the pool. And I get this question a lot. And to be honest with you, team, it's going to depend on one, the day of the week it is, not as in Monday, Tuesday, as in how the day has gone, whether it's been a good day, bad day, shit day, or an incredible day. Two, your stress levels, but that kind of like links in with that. Three, the personality you are. All right. Four, the athlete you are. So they can be the same or different. And then five, which one works for you. Okay. And also number six, the lift you're doing. All right. So for example, if you're going super heavy, you're doing between 1 and 3 reps. Okay, it can be whatever exercise it is. Say we'll just do some squats. Okay, and we're doing 5 sets of 3 or something daft like that. We'll just pull out a number. Okay, you're getting pretty fucking heavy now, team. You're getting anywhere between 85% and 100%. You're not going to go 100% for sets of 3 because then it won't be 100%. But you know what I mean. So we're 85% and above. Are you going to be able to thinking about running through a field of dandelions, eating strawberries and cream, having a grand old time, and then get underneath the bar and squat it? Most of the time, I'd bet me bottom dollar that the answer would be no. And especially for me, if I'm like in a really happy state, blah, 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 I get underneath the bar, it'll crush me. Like, I wouldn't be tight, I wouldn't be composed, I wouldn't be thinking straight. Bang, I'd get down, and the weight would just sit me down and put me to the floor. But that's the athlete and the personality I am. Might not be for you. Some people need that positive state of mind where it's like, come on, we can do this. Everything's like, go, go, go. Yeah, let's go, blah, 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 blah. And all like flowery and fairy sort of thing. That is absolutely fine. If that's who you are and that's how you tick, do it. That's incredible. That is between you and you, between your left ear and your right ear, that little space in the middle inside your head. Like, if that needs to be positive to get you through, do it. That's incredible. Get it done. Some people need to go the opposite way. Some people need to go negative. It's like they kind of feed themselves negative things like, don't be weak, or, you're not strong enough. And that riles them up and pisses them off and gets them through it. It's like the whole saying of like, prove them wrong, prove the haters wrong, or the naysayers wrong, or all that. Which is cool. If that's who you are, do that. However, I would behave on the negative stuff, and as soon as your set's done, make sure everything stays positive, because you can fall into a trap where you're just in that self-doubt, sort of self-loathing state. So I would behave with that one, turn it on, turn it off, like the light switch. And then obviously you've got the extremes, so you go super happy, super, Ross Edgley talks about it when he swam round Great Britain with the Great British Swim, with Swim with a Smile. People might need to like be super energetic, super happy, and bouncing around. And I've known athletes that have been like that and have really, really benefited from it. Like, just bouncing around, blah, 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 and then end up PRing, which is incredible. Like, fair fucks. If that works for you, do it. And then there's other athletes that goes to the other end of the spectrum that needs to go fucking dark. Like, will take whatever is like seriously hurt them in their life, they would think about it, they would let them fester in their head, they would get riled up, they would get angry, they would get aggressive, they'd get underneath the bar and they'd crush it. Like, there is no one way that's right or wrong, team. It is who you are as a person and also who you are as an athlete, and it's also what exercise you're doing. So, for example, use myself as an example. You can only speak for yourself, right? I can't go under it like hairy, fairy, flowery sort of thing. I can't really go under it positive. However, I will use that sometimes where it's like, Alex, you can do this, mate. You can fucking do this. Come on, like you're strong enough to get it done, and that is tapping into the positive side, and that's helping me out. But most of the time, for me, I need to get a little bit aggressive, get a little bit angry, not at anyone. Everything's internal. I usually don't say anything because everything's just like a fight in myself. And then I'll get underneath the bar, then I'll put my hands on the bar, and then it's goal time. Then it is prove what you have time. However, if I'm doing a set of hammy curls, if I'm doing a set of bicep curls, if I'm doing a set of I don't know, lat pull downs or some pull ups or something like that, something where it's not super heavy, something where it's like an accessory or an auxiliary movement, like would I hype myself up and get aggressive and take my mental state into a dark place? Would I? Fuck. No way. I'm not touching that stuff. One, because you'll dilute the potency. So when you go back there, when it's heavy, you probably won't get you as riled up. And two, like it's not a nice place to be. Like you don't want to always be thinking about those things. Like you want to do it when you need to, and then that's it. You use that energy that might have hurt you in the past, and then you take it out on the barbell, take it out on the dumbbell, or whatever you're doing, on the saddle, in the pool, and then you leave it. You leave it where it is. So then you leave the gym, you leave the pool, you leave the bike, you leave the road, or the court, or the pitch, or whatever. You leave that a better person, more relaxed, stress relieved, and all that thing. Like you just leave it a better person. I go back to it. You do. You leave it a better person. That's your time. It's like your therapy. Um, One of the best quotes I've ever heard from any athlete is, "We pay for this," i.e., we pay for the gym, so we don't have to pay for therapy. And it is so fucking true. It is so fucking true. I see it all the time. I will tell people this, and I think I'm probably the 1% of people that will train that will tell you. 99% of the people that will train, their first and foremost goal will be mentality. Will not be to look good, will not be to lift heavy, will not be to shred down, will not be to bulk up, will not be to get better at fucking, will not be to get better at sport. All that shit can go back to the wayside. It is literally to sort out their head. That's it. That's number one. 99% of the people that train in the entire world will be to sort out their head. People won't tell you that. I will, mainly because I'll say how it is. But that's the truth, guys. And if you need to go there for a short period of time, do it, use it, get rid of it, and then relax. But do not keep that light bulb on for all the time. Like switch that light switch off, and then switch it on, and then switch it back off again when you need to. Do not have it like raging, because then that can start messing with you a little bit. So mentality wise, team, like it can be a whole range of things. And to be honest with you, I'd try it out. I'd try out different ways of thinking, different things of thinking of. Like I've tried the positive stuff before, and to be honest with you, I've had days where I've thought about is like happy go fairy things in my head, proper positive, and I've had an absolute banging session. I've had an incredible session. And then there's other times where I've been super dark, I've been the other way. I've been like, nah, fuck this, blah, 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 walking around, walking around like I want to punch a hole through the wall. And I've had an incredible session. And then vice versa too. I've done the same thing with being proper angry, and I've had a shit session because I've been like hyper aroused, as they call it. And then also I've been proper positive and yeah, come on, we can do this, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just not tight, I'm not set, I'm not composed, like the bar's moving like shit, and I'm like, what's going on? Oh yeah, I'm not really concentrating because I'm just like happy, blah, 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 blah. So it's just figuring it out, team. Like, you don't have to go dark, but you also don't have to go super light. who are you as a person? Like, who are you as an athlete, and what are you doing? And what's your day been like? You know, I had an athlete in yesterday, Big J. He came in and was like, how's business going, lad? He's one of the worst days I could have had. I was like, right, let's go fucking heavy then, man. Let's get some shit out. You know, you don't have to talk that much. You wait until the energy's sort of burnt off and get it done. And then obviously you'll start opening up and being a little bit of a happier chappy. But you don't have to be like super positive all the time. Towards you, yes. And the 23 hours of the day that you're outside of the gym, yes. But sometimes you need to use that negative energy and you need to get it out. Don't keep it in that bottle and keep it stored in the corner of your brain. Fucking get rid of it. You pay for a gym membership, so use it. Come in, get rid of that energy, get out. Be a happier person. Say hello to people on the street. Hi, good morning. Morning, sir. Morning, miss. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. How's life? How's the family? Everyone's safe from COVID. You know, nice shoes. All that sort of shit. When you're in the gym, sometimes you might need to deal with whatever's going on. You're a bit stressed out or whatever. Put your headphones in. Don't. Whatever. Head down. Go for it. If not, stay positive. Whatever. Just having a little bit of a play around. Figuring out who you are. And figuring out how your day's been too, team. Like, just have a little play around. Like I say all the time, I could be the most knowledgeable. Disclaimer, I am not. I am not, N-O-T, not underlined. But I could be the most knowledgeable person on the entire fucking planet. But there's one thing that you guys have that I will never have, and that's that internal feedback. You could be doing something in the gym, and I'm like, yep, this is absolutely 100% perfect for them. They are going to progress tenfold. This is the absolute shit. And you could have had a bad day, and your body's absolutely garbage at the moment, and it does not feel good and moves awful. Well, it moves good, but it feels awful. I'm not going to know that because I can't feel the feeling inside you. You know what I mean? I don't have that feedback, and vice versa. You don't have the feedback from me. So then it's just also conversing with a coach if you're with a coach, or just trying to diagnose and figure out what's going on with yourself and just listening to what your body's telling you. Yes, there's time to tell it to shut the fuck up, but there's also time to be like, right, this is actually feeling weird now. Like, this isn't just in the state of discomfort. This is tickling the line of pain. I was like, right, let's change some things. It's a no day, so we're going to reduce the intensity. Or it's a go day, so I'm going to fucking put more weight on the bar and I'm going to go for it. I'm going to push it a little harder on some sprints. So I'm going to go a little longer in the pool. Or I'm going to like try and ride 90% of my heart rate for a little longer on the saddle and up a hill, and whatever it is, team. So hopefully that has helped. That's me babbling on for a little bit longer. Mentality and motivation. Okay, a little bit different. Motivation, thinking about those things, why you started, all those things. Mentality, addressing the bar, and addressing you as your personality and your athlete, you as an athlete, and then sort of going to a place where you need to go. Whether that's positive, negative, somewhere in between, doesn't matter. That's you. That's between you and you. But what happens upstairs needs to change sometimes. You can't just be thinking about work and then put 90% of your 1 rep max on the bar and expect for it to move like beautifully. I'm got a little news flash for your team. That's not going to work. All right, have an absolute banging day. Hopefully we all stay safe and sound. Make sure you eat your veggies because, fiber and vitamins. Have an absolute banging one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love.